I've been focusing a lot on the larger influencer marketing campaigns, the ones that cost multi-millions of dollars, and of course they get you a lot of results, but I haven't been talking too much about the smaller products, the mid-tier products. Hi, my name is Roman Suharenko. I'm the founder of Boost My Brand. Follow and subscribe so you know the latest trends in influencer marketing, SEO, digital marketing, the works. I'm going to talk about real life scenarios and what I'm going through now with my clients. So for a long time, few years, I've been working on larger campaigns and I've been working on smaller campaigns, and I thought it'd be really interesting to share my insight because I think influencer marketing is going to be one of the best things that you can do for marketing moving forward with SEO, with other aspects of digital marketing. But what is it like now to do influencer marketing? I know what it was like maybe 5-6 years ago. Micro influencers were all the buzz, and you had a lot of those micro influencers working on Instagram, on their Facebook, and people were actually buying. Now the landscape has changed a little bit. So let me tell you about 5 things that I've learned and that you can implement yourself for influencer marketing for those smaller to mid-tier products. In influencer marketing, you can split up various influencers in different sections. So you have the nanos who are 1,000 to maybe 5,000 followers. You have the micro who's 5,000 to let's say 25,000. You have the mid-tier who's around 50,000 to 100,000. And anything past that, whether it's big, large, mega, whatever you want to call it, is going to be about 100,000 plus. This is how I differentiate the different influencers and how much I pay them. For your smaller products, your mid-tier products, it is common sense that you'd go after the smaller ones, which can work. It just takes a little bit more work. So when you negotiate with influencers, what I have found is that those nano influencers, the smaller ones, are a little bit more difficult to talk to than the micro. Maybe because the era of Instagram has kind of simmered down. It's kind of cooled down. So you have all of the wannabe influencers who really wanted to make a living off that. They're no longer interested. They're probably not even responding to your bid or whatever you want to do for them. The mid-tier, the 20,000, 10,000 followers are really responsive. I think a lot of them are still making money off of this consistently. So they're more likely to get the product and do a little bit of promotion. They're also the ones who would probably take a little bit more of the payment. What I found is a budget that you want to look for is around that maybe $50 to $100 range on the smaller end of them, maybe $250 to $500 on the larger side of them. Again, the more that you pay, the more likely you're going to get results, right? So those micro influencers are the best to target when you do want to do product promotion. Of course, you want to go after a strategy where you're using a lot of them in the beginning, you know, the whole spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. And as time goes on, you want to reuse some of them, maybe not use the rest that didn't work out as well. And you also want to be careful about who you hire in the mid-tier range. Anyone who's over $500, you have to make sure that their engagement is worth it. You want to make sure that any influencer you're pairing with, their engagement is worth it. For that, I'll talk about it in the next step, how you can figure that out. But what you really want to figure out is what is your budget, right? How can you allocate it to the different influencers and figure out the best campaign that you can use for your product, right? What is your ROI? How much can you maximum spend? Everybody has a number. Number 2, know your audience. So with Twitter being in shambles, Instagram simmering down, TikTok is still pretty good, and you have other ones that are popping up that you might want to partake in, but finding your audience is a little bit more difficult now because the selection isn't as good. But you do need to know who your audience is. Are they males? Are they females? Are they both? What age are they? This is all going to determine which of the platforms do you want to focus on. Right now, I would say Instagram is still one of the best if you want to sell your products through influencers, but I see less and less as you go on. TikTok is slowly taking over that. Why? Because it has viral hits one after another. The problem with TikTok is that it's also unpredictable, right? But you get that from every influencer platform. So you have to make sure you know the audience. If your product is a service that's locally, geographically targeted, maybe you still want to look at Facebook, right? That's still a thing. If you're a real estate agent, that's still a thing. If you're looking for some jewelry or something along those lines, Instagram is still good. TikTok might be better for the younger generation, something with apparel. So you have to make sure that you know your audience going into this. If you don't, start with one of them and figure it out. Number 3, it's going to take a lot longer than you think. Negotiations with influencers, no matter how good you are, is going to take some time. If you want to speed things up or you're a little bit busy, maybe hire a VA. Go on Fiverr, hire a VA, or go on Upwork, hire a VA. They'll be able to do those tasks that you really don't want to do, such as negotiations. The other things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're prepared with your agreement. You can take some templates, and I'll put some links below to the kind of templates you could use, but you want to have your offer in a letter. You also want to make sure you protect yourself. You want to be able to have some disclaimers and so on about how it could be used, what other brands you want to include in the products. You do need to get specific on those and understand. So I would do a little bit of research. Having that said, this does take a little bit of time. Figuring out which influencers get back to you. If you want to send them the product, how long is it going to take, right? All of these things. You do want to make sure that you have a lot of that set up before you even go into it. But as you go into it, you'll realize that things take longer. And by the way, things break all the time. Subscriptions, plans, they don't work out. Technical difficulties, holidays. I mean, oh my God, there's so much. It is so frustrating sometimes, but that is the name of the game. If you're planning to produce something within a few weeks, make it 1 to 2 months. Number 4 is where to find these influencers. I know I talk a lot about certain platforms, and I love them because you're able to find engagement, potential cost, and they take the guesswork out of contacting them. But if you don't have a lot of money to start off with and you're comfortable with doing it on your own, you can use other methods. You can ask your neighbor Joe, who has a few hundred followers and is going to give you that results that he's been telling you. Be careful. You can also go on platforms such as Fiverr, find influencers who are maybe $50, $100. They're also really good for modeling if they don't have a network, so you can have content, right? You can also go on Instagram, check the hashtag for the product that you're going after and figuring them out that way. The other platforms like Upfluence, who cost a little bit of the pricier range, maybe $1,000 per month at their base, and they will provide you with a platform that takes all the guesswork out of it. So I do recommend that for sure. But if you don't have that budget, the other ways are better. There are other platforms such as #paid. There are an agency as well, but they deal with creators who are of a higher tier, higher caliber. They have really good videography. They might cost $10,000, $20,000, but they are really good and they're worth it. You can also go with a really customizable influencer agency who's going to give you, $1 million campaign. It's going to be amazing, but if that's not in your budget, it might not be the right way to go. So my final number 5 on this list is getting examples. Go into this knowing exactly what you want. I can't stress this enough. I've done it freehand, I've done it as I go, and the reality is these influencers will never give you exactly what you want. You need to show them examples. Some things that you really want to look out for are aesthetics. You want to make sure that they're not using other brands in there, that they're using maybe neutral coloring. The background is very important. Even if you want them to do a reaction, you have to really give them specific guidelines on how you want them to react. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but they're probably good at acting. They're influencers. So they'll know what to do for you. So give them guidelines. If you want freedom of expression, you could do that as well. Just know that it's going to take even longer and you might not get what you want, right? So that is the last one. That is, in my opinion, one of the most important ones. So know what you want, get examples. My final thoughts on influencer marketing is it's almost like we've seen this wave. In the beginning, it was super exciting. Man, everybody can make money online with Instagram. All of a sudden, social media is not where we thought it was going to be. You don't have as many unicorns for social media. We've done the most that we could do. As time goes on, you're going to have more and more influencers who are finding value from this. They're making their daily living on this because more and more brands are figuring out that if you give it to somebody and they promote it even to their base audience, you're going to get a few sales. That is a much better conversion than some of your paid ads. It's going to take a little while to figure out your exact formula, but you're going to get it. And then when you get it, it's going to be like printing money, kind of like what our Federal Reserve does right now. So Influencer marketing is here to stay. Utilize it, figure it out. It's gonna get even better. As soon as we have our next wave of new social media, you better be there. Thank you. Subscribe for more, like, comment, support me in any way you can, and let's get the dialogue going. I love this stuff. Communicate with me. Let's get more of these videos going.